Jones says, he just talked about chunking and dynamic banking. Is there an optimum chunk amount, or the bigger the better? It depends on what you're doing. If, let's say, you're paying down a house, if you're paying down a mortgage and the mortgage has a really high balance, let's say you just started, you got 30 years. If I put the numbers in, it's going to depend on what the interest rate is on your line of credit. But even if you're paying a higher interest on your line of credit, you will overall pay off that house quicker and pay less interest on both of those loans if you do a larger chunk. If there's a different situation, let's say the interest rate on your line of credit is a lot higher, you may not want to do larger chunks. Even on your house, it may not make sense, but we can go through those numbers and figure out. There are calculators out there that we can use to do that. None of them are ideal, and you may have to pay for that. I usually just do a brute force method. I don't have any special, I haven't made up any special spreadsheet that I can sell you guys. You can plug these in. I just do the math. But there is a way that you can do small chunks where you're basically keeping that balance really close to zero throughout the month, as close to zero as you can. And in that case, you're saving the most interest on the line of credit, but you may not be saving the most interest on the thing that you're chunking at. So it depends on what that is. It depends on the interest rates you're paying on those. If it's a high interest, let's say it's a high interest credit card, you're much better off throwing a large chunk at that and having low interest line of credit now that you're paying. The questions come in, and the determination where you're going to have to make some decisions is when the interest rates are switched. When you have either the same interest rate or higher interest rate in your line of credit than you do in the debt that you're trying to pay down. Now, the other question is too, what do you have for an emergency fund? How much of this line of credit are you using as an emergency fund? I like to use a line of credit to supplement my emergency fund of quick, accessible, fast cash. I keep a little bit of cash on hand, $1,000 or $2. I keep a few $1,000s in my checking or savings account, and then I rely on, when I have my line of credit, which I've already told you I don't have right now, but when I had it, I rely on that space in the line of credit to meet any other needs that I have at the time. I don't let any other cash sit idle. Those other things are idle cash. I don't want to do that with very much, but there's an advantage to having access to quick cash. If an emergency actually comes up, if that emergency is maybe we've got a power outage and I've got to pick up emergency supplies, I'm not going to be able to access my bank account. Okay? I'm going to have cash on hand so I can meet an immediate need. But not all emergencies are that immediate. Sometimes I might have an hour or two, in which case I can go to an ATM. I have time to go pull it out of the bank. So I have some cash to meet my immediate needs that in the extreme situation, I have to have cash. I have another little bit that's available electronically if I need it. And then I have a larger chunk available electronically in the HELOC that's available, or the line of credit that's available. The rest of it I have in my life insurance policies, as much as I can have in that. And then others I have in my investments. So we have different buckets, but as far as emergency funds go, the rest of that emergency fund is in my insurance policy, because that's where it's doing the most work for me. And I know I have access to it in 2 to 10 days. Depends on which carrier I have that money in. Mass Mutual takes me about 10 days to get access to my money. Guardian, 2 to 3 days. Now, of course, that's not counting weekends. Those are business days. National Life, couple of days. I'll find out here real soon how quickly I can get it out of Allianz, because my Allianz policies are going to be starting any day now. And of course, I'll see how quickly I can get that cash as well. But you can be sure I'll share it with you. So hopefully that answered your question about chunking. Watch the videos on it. You can see I do some videos where there's small chunks. I think I do some where there's bigger chunks. I haven't done those videos in a while because they weren't getting a whole lot of views, but it wasn't so much that as I realized overall it's more of a mindset about moving money. You don't actually need to figure out the exact numbers, although in the situation you're asking for, it's good to see those numbers, but I've already got those videos out there. So hopefully you can see those videos and get that dialed in. But if you have any questions after watching that, just sign up for a meeting with me. Hit me up on Calendly, and we can go through the numbers, figure it out. Robert, that's what I was thinking as well. For a lot of agents, it's going to take a hit on their commission check. Yeah, and now here's the thing. It's for a lot of agents, it's not just that drives it. I really believe that there's agents out there that want to do the best by their client, but they don't know how. They are not taught that. If they're a captive insurance agent, you can bet that insurance company has not taught them how to design these policies to maximize the value to you. If they're with an IMO company that they just on the phone all day just selling clients, that the leads are given to them by the IMO, they're not going to teach them how to do that. So it's a lot of it is just a lack of knowledge. There are some people out there who would all day long put their interests over their clients. Hopefully you can identify those people and stay away from them. This was a question asked and answered during one of our Wealth Care Wednesdays live streams. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below, or join us on one of our Wealth Care Wednesday live streams where you can ask the question and we'll answer it on the air live. Hope you found value in today's video. If you'd like to find out more about IUL and whole life, check out these videos right over here, and we'll see you next time. Now go maximize your cash flow.